Sleepers Podcast, Tuesday, January 9th edition. We clicked record, and the first number on my clock right now when we clicked record on Tuesday, January 9th, the morning of, is a 6, Carter. It's 6 something, and it's dark out, and we're here.
I thought you were going to come up with like some metaphor about the number 6.
No, it's 6. It's 6.
Yeah, it's early. It's early.
And like 6 doesn't mess around. Like,
yeah,
I think there's some times in the day that kind of skate by, maybe going unnoticed, but like 6 asserts itself. 6 is not to be messed with.
Oh, it means business, especially this time of the year. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's early.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, 6 is MFer. That's how I feel right now. Like, I'm getting the full 6 experience. And I like 6 is going to play its game. I have respect for 6. You're never going to hear me disrespect 6 again. With that said, Michigan football just won a national championship. That's why we're all thrown off. I was at my parents' watching the game last night, stayed up till 12:30ish, then drove home, called Carter like, hey, you want to record now or should we go in the morning? I think for both of our sake, we decided to pull the trigger in the morning. Do you like that decision now that we're here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Glad to see we're standing by that. Are you hanging in there today? We're going to do a recap of the game, and we'll get into your full thoughts. But I know this was not exactly an outcome you were hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there could be a worse start to my 2024, but I guess it can only go up from here.
You were really getting into the mud on Twitter last night?
Yeah, I had a couple opinions about the college football season as a whole, and I was called a lot of names. My mentions are still on fire, by the way, and my DMs with some very harsh words.
What are some of your favorite names you've been called in the last 24 hours?
Carter the Coper, Carter the Crybaby, like any like rendition of using a C word. I think you can also use your imagination on what other C words were used. I'm not going to say them. But yeah, there's a couple on there. Like you're sad. Couple nasty ones, I must say, though. Some really nasty language on here, by the way, everyone. Just let's be better.
A little vulgar.
It's just a little bit vulgar.
Do you think that's fair game?
To be like vulgar on that mean on the internet?
Like if Michigan State won a basketball title and then like you found some prominent Michigan accounts that were just like doing exactly what you were doing, like, do you think it's fair game to respond the way they responded by attacking and calling names?
I don't personally. But that's just me. I mean, that's me. I would never. But I'm my actual profile picture, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a lot of dogs and JJ McCarthy and the free Harbaugh 4 t-shirts and Oakleys and golden retrievers letting me have it. So
Okay. So you're saying like you're there to stand by it when you get in the mud. Maybe there's some people that aren't standing by it. Is that what's going on?
I just had a simple opinion. I thought this college football season was awful. That's it.
All right. I'm glad you could express yourself, my friend. We'll get through this. Maybe this will be a therapy session for you today. Maybe not. We'll find out. You want to start with the YouTube comment of the day?
We will do that. Let me pull that up really quickly here. Hey, we just hit 65 or 6.5K subscribers on YouTube.
Hey, let's go.
This one comes from Mr. Meister. You guys have been going ham with the uploads all season. Appreciate the hard work with a thumbs up. Thanks,
Wow.
Mr. Meister.
That was kind.
Yeah, I needed a kind one mixed in today.
That was a really kind one. I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. I also have a negative one that I'm trying to find that I can read. So, like, I feel like if you're going to go positive, like, we got to balance it out with a negative, no?
Do you know what it was?
I saw it last night. I'm definitely going to find it real quick before we move on because it was directed directly at me. And I'd
was
like
it the Indiana Rutgers one?
Maybe.
Someone said Greg opens his mouth and nonsense just dribbles out?
No, I liked that one.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that one was funny. There was one that was like very pointed.
lazy takes continue, so at least you're consistent, boys.
No, it was for me. Like it
Oh,
had to
it was
be.
at you.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. I know this isn't a fun listen, but I'm really like trying to find it.
Oh, now I want to find it. I might have missed it.
A lot of people wanted our intro song name yesterday. I don't know what the intro song name is, but it's great. Um, yeah, I can't find this now. I'm pretty sad about it, Cart.
But one of the negatives of having what's it called? A lot of comments now.
A little, yeah. Well, not a negative, always a win, but too many videos and good comments on each video means I can't find the slanderous ones. All right. Well, thanks. That was great. Let's move to the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the description of every single video that we do. Got a couple more signups yesterday. Keep chugging along. We read the comments from the Discord every single day. Let's start with the newest member of the Discord card. That's Evan Miyakawa, evanmiya.com. He says, can we get your comments on Lance Jones' dance moves? I think this should officially move him to your good side.
The video's fire. That whole that thing is like very Purdue-y. I don't really like that, but the video's fire.
I think the dance itself is actually pretty cool.
Like you're in on that.
Yeah, we saw it in Mackey, and I remember while it was happening in Mackey being like, damn, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, the video's fire though.
Yeah, like I feel like if that was you doing that exact thing in that video, it would be pinned on all social media accounts, and like we would see that more than we see JJ McCarthy meditating.
That sucks.
But I'm surprised. You said the video is fire for Lance Jones. That's surprising.
I think the video, like the concept of it, is fire. The actual action is cringy to me.
Okay.
But
Dance
like
moves, though?
you're a big student section like guy.
Mhm.
I'm not.
I'm just a big fan. Anything that's organized by fans or the students in a game setting that is unique, I'm in on.
Okay.
Like, and not less like, oh, if this guy misses a free throw, he gets chicken tenders. I hate that. But like, actually, I don't even hate that. I don't mind that. But I like unique get hype things like the Wisconsin jump around. Cool. Mr. Brightside Michigan game. Cool. The Purdue everybody dance thing. That's cool. I like it.
Okay. Interesting.
As long as you embrace it, I like it.
Yeah.
Clean Cut J Rut says, I'd love to hear your thoughts on ranking the stability of programs in the conference. Last night's Izzo discussion of his general stubbornness and him not wanting to use the portal brought this to mind. Think coaching stability, roster construction, previous and upcoming success / failure, fan base support.
Stability. Honestly, right now, I think there's one stable coach job scenario in the Big Ten. Like I think it's just Purdue. Like, I think Brad could still. I think Underwood could leave for a better job. Holtman, who knows what's gonna happen. Izzo, just in general, given his age and the times, like who knows when he could just be like, I'm sick of this. I want to hang it up. Like you just go up and down Willard is even going to survive at Maryland. Heichel, pretty stable, good recruiting class coming in, I would say. I don't see him like leaving Rutgers, but is there really that much stability, I guess? Or maybe not stability is the word. There's not much uncertainty. Or no, there is a lot of uncertainty to me outside of like Purdue and Painter.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I would answer the question just a little bit differently and less coach specific. Like to me, program stability means like a coach could change and your program doesn't necessarily go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts on that would be like Purdue is at the top for sure. Not like Purdue's not going to leave anytime soon because of Painter, but if Painter left, I trust the Painter infrastructure that Purdue would remain intact where it is. I think Wisconsin and Rutgers are up there for me. Like, I mean, Bo Ryan gone. Greg Gard has like had Wisconsin in successful Greg Gard seasons since. Gard, I don't like it, but I think we should give Gard some flowers sometimes. Like I don't like it, but like what he did with Johnny Davis and now what he's doing with this team is kind of like, he got some shit. Like
Yeah.
he not going nowhere. And then Peichel, just because of Peichel, I think Rutgers is very stable. Like Pike's going to be there, I think 10 more years and be fine. But outside of that, Michigan State's got to be up there. Like whoever they get post Izzo when it happens, I think will be fine, if not very good. Obviously, you got to see that through, but like it's still one of the best programs in the country. So I think they'll be fine, and Izzo will probably help the guy out when he gets there. That's the top half. The bottom half would be right now Michigan. Illinois somewhere in the middle. Like I do think when Brad leaves, things get volatile for Illinois.
I can see that.
Yeah, we just some wild swings. Like John Gross,
And like Fran leaves Iowa. Like,
yeah, if you had asked me this a year ago, Iowa's near the top with stability, and now it's dicey. I don't know what post Fran Iowa looks like at all.
what a year changes.
Where's Indiana?
I think Indiana should be up there in maybe like not with Michigan State, but near Michigan State, just because it's Indiana. I feel like if a good coach gets that job, he'll be okay because it's like Indiana.
Okay, I think you're right, but I think it's like Michigan State but bad.
Yeah, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Matt F says, just FYI, Izzo was another coach other than Shrew to not counter Painter by going out and getting large bigs. He just went out and got a bunch of undersized ones who stink.
I mean, really went all in on that. Didn't work, but way to zag when they zig is.
Yeah, I don't strategically. Madi Sissoko. It's not a strategic endeavor that I think I can comment on. Sully says, who do you think the top 3 busts are so far this year? Whether it's certain players or a team as a whole that were hyped up by their fan base, national media, or simply yourself.
I think Big Ten Conference comes to mind. Um, Definitely for sure. More so Maryland, I guess, for me, just because I was very high on Maryland and they've been absolutely awful this whole season. Um, let's see who else. Stephen Ashworth, I think, would be up there. Pretty disappointing. And then who would be the third that I go for? Personally, I thought Louisville would be a little bit better than they are. They're still the bottom dweller seller.
Yeah, it's been bad. Dweller Seller?
Yeah, what seller dweller?
Do you want to comment on you saying ice your driveway instead of salt your
Yeah,
driveway?
how come you didn't step in on that one?
I didn't notice it. I'll be honest with you.
I didn't notice it either.
You're just so good at it. I'm also shout out to our compliance department, our director of compliance, Terrence James, who did notice it as he is supposed to. He did his job yesterday.
He never misses a damn thing.
He did his job yesterday. My 3 biggest disappointments: Michigan State's one. We had a conversation in the offseason. Which top 5 team is the most likely to fall out of the top 25? And you and I think, both said Michigan State is the least likely one. And a week into the season, they were out of the top 25. So, come on. Number 2, I'll go Michigan, but only because it's my heart. Number 3, I'll go St. Mary's. I think people actually did have a lot of real hope for them, and they're just horrible. I'm very out on that team. I know they've turned it around a little bit, but I don't see it.
I might throw Texas in that mix too.
Yeah, we both really like Texas. Yeah, and then last honorable mention for Bus would just be me. I just want to say, I've been all bark, no bite this season, and I promise to change that in the second half of the year. D-Rose SAT says, if you were Indiana, would you rather have Tom Crean or Mike Woodson locked in as the coach for the next 6 seasons? Should be based on actual coaching, since NIL should lock in good talent in either scenario.
Death by fire or death by drowning. I mean, I probably go Woodson, I think.
Okay. Okay.
I think I'll go Woodson.
Free my dog Tom, man. I'm going Tom Crean.
You like Tom Crean in that Amazing Blue last night?
I love Tom Crean in that Amazing Blue. It's not a joke, man. It is clearly a joke, but like at the same time, I would run to Ann Arbor right now for Tom Crean to be my head coach. Like, look, I know he's like a meme now and he has a really funny face and all of that is true. I also know like the end of his tenure was legitimately really bad. But like, are we also going to sit here and pretend he didn't have some awesome teams?
Oh, he has some great teams.
So like that's kind of my thing. It's like if you're a coach who actually has great teams at a program that doesn't have a lot of great teams in like a 20-year span, why are we moving on from that guy so fast? Like it's the Thad Matta Ohio State thing, right?
Well, the thing about the old days is the old days.
Yeah, but like I don't know. You know I do this with Michigan State football. Like if you got a coach who's done it, don't rush to move on from the coach who's done it, even if he's not currently doing it. Like, let the competent guy figure it out. And I'm not saying Tom Crean's the most competent guy on earth. Clearly, he hasn't had success. Like when he went to Georgia, that was horrible. But like, the guy gave us the best Indiana season since I've been alive. So
But did he have like some consecutive like bad seasons?
there's talent on those teams, which is why he got fired. I get it. But like, he was bringing in the talent. I think in the NIL era at Indiana, Tom Crean would be fine. Especially like, sorry, but Tom Crean was struggling when Izzo and Beeline were like cooking. Like, and you had Painter and you had other good coaches in this conference. Now every good coach in this conference except for Painter and Underwood is shit the bed right now. You telling me Tom Crean with talent at Indiana in this era wouldn't be successful? Like,
No, because he loses with talent.
I think it would be a lot easier to do it now than it was 8 years ago. Give me Tom Crean. Give me Tom Crean in Ann Arbor tomorrow. I'll take him. I really will take him. Malik Perry says you talked about MSU's future roster and how bad it could be. But what about the other teams in the best or in the Big Ten? We don't look too bad if we get a good 5 or a 4. Purdue, Illinois, and Northwestern are losing a lot next year. You want to take a quick look at Purdue, Illinois, and Northwestern's rosters for next year?
I mean, Purdue's roster is still going to be good next year. Um, Illinois' roster, I still think is going to be good next season. I think Morez Johnson is going to be one of the best freshmen in the Big Ten. Could win Big Ten Freshman of the Year very well. And what was the other team? Northwestern.
Yeah.
Northwestern's going to fall off a cliff next season.
Brooks Barnheiser show?
He's not going to have Barry with him, I don't think.
No COVID year, Barry.
No, I think honestly, if Ty Barry's smart, he's going to get in a bit. Like if Nick Timberlake is getting a Kansas bag, you're telling me Ty Barry can't get a Kansas bag?
I don't know. I don't know. It'll be him and Terrence Williams fighting for a bag. The sport's cooked. Listen to us right now. The sport's cooked. I think, yeah, Purdue's going to be nasty because Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer are back for 2 more seasons. Like, it doesn't really matter. And Trey Kaufman-Wren's good. He's not Madi Sissoko. So there you go. That's a good team. They got a sick recruiting class coming in. Illinois, I think there's a louder argument for of like what's going on. But you still got Ty. You still got Goody. You still got Dane.
Year 2 DGL?
Yeah, like there's going to be talent, and Brad will figure it out. And more importantly, Brad's going to portal in legitimate players. Northwestern's bad, but also Malik, like it's Northwestern. So like, like we really do it like
They're going to go back to where they should be.
they lose a lot. Like they're Northwestern. Like yeah, they're not 4-1 against a lot of teams this conference right now. Anyways, another one from Malik. He said, if Sissoko and Ty Rodgers are at a playground by themselves, who's shooting a 3 first?
Probably Ty. I think Monty will get stuck on the slide.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ty as well. Also, credit to me because the original comment read word for word, quote, if Sissoko and Ty Rodgers is at a playground by their shelf, who's shooting a three? It's a great comment, Malik. Final comment from Malik today at 6:04 in the morning. He says, Cookie Monster, you need help? I got you if you want.
Would love help.
Let's do a cookie check-in, Cart. We had the sleepers bet last week on the national championship. If Michigan won, you had to eat a cookie for every JJ McCarthy yard. Michigan did win the game. 140 of them, thanks. I will just say that is low on where I thought the scale would go here. It could have been 200 plus. JJ struggled in this game mightily, in my opinion, and they ran the ball a ton. Kind of worked out in your favor. The game script was good. With that said, 140 cookies is still 140 cookies. Where's your head at on this Carter Elliott cookie challenge?
I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I don't want to eat 140 cookies. It's the last thing I want to do. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I have 24 hours though, right? So like, can I just eat cookies throughout the day?
Yeah, that's exactly how this is going to go. Yeah.
I thought it had to be like streamed though.
So what you need to do is every time you're eating the cookies, I either need a stream or a video of you eating the cookies.
Okay.
But you can come in and out. Like you can be like, I'm sitting down to eat my 20 right now. I'm eating my 10. And then you just it wraps with I'm at 10 and there's video evidence of you eating all 10. And then I'll be
Okay.
back in like 2 hours for 10 more.
Got it. All right. So yeah, I'm probably gonna buy the cookies tonight. Also game plan like my 24 hours tomorrow, like what that looks like. Because I feel like I got to be strategic about this. Because if I don't eat the cookies, don't I have to wear Michigan gear?
Yeah, so if you don't complete 140 cookies in a 24-hour span, for however many cookies are left over, you have to wear a Michigan shirt that day for that many days.
I wonder how many cookies are in a Chips Ahoy package.
Let's Google this. Let's give this a nice little Google.
Just for shits and giggles. But I got to be strategic about it. Have to be.
Yeah, you have different like flavors of cookies you could go for. Okay, so there are 48 cookies in a Chips Ahoy package. So you're gonna need 4 containers.
That is so many.
No, 3. Only 3.
That's so many effing cookies. No, I don't. If it's 40, wait, 48?
Yeah. So if you get 3 Chips Ahoy cookie containers, that's 144 cookies. You have to eat 140. There's 4 left over. That's actually not that bad.
I don't think you realize how many cookies that is.
No, I thought this was going to be like 6 containers worth. 3 containers is very easy to do. In a day, do a whole container at breakfast, a whole container at lunch, a whole container at dinner. Boom, you're done.
Oh, easy. Done.
It's extremely easy. They're small cookies.
Oh,
They're small, good cookies.
I just got to make sure I get the red package.
You should
I'm
be
not gonna
on
be able...
JJ McCarthy's head making fun of him for this, by the way. Like he had a chance to have you in hell and he let you off the hook.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I don't know. I was a little bit scared that he was gonna go off once the sports psychologist started talking to him before that last drive, but that didn't do anything.
Oh, all right. Okay. So any final thoughts? Like you agree to these terms. There will be video of this, and it's tomorrow. That's when it's happening.
Yep.
Are you doing just original cookies, just the blue box, all 3 of them?
No, I'm going all red.
All chewy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that's bad for your insides. No offense.
I hate the blue ones.
But like you gotta have a little like diversification. I think Chewy's gonna chew you up. No pun intended.
No, they're smaller too.
I don't know. I think that's gonna have some digestive concerns, I think.
I'm gonna have them either way.
I'm just looking out for you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go double or nothing on anything today?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. No, absolutely not.
Any comment on 4-0 for me against you in sleepers bets?
Is it 4-0? Can we like review the tape? Like you say it's 4-0, but I feel like if I had the wherewithal to like actually go back and look at our sleepers bets, I would had 1-1.
Yeah, I'm open to that, but do you have any examples?
Not readily available, no.
Yeah, so then I'm gonna go with 4-0.
All right. No comment.
Okay. Let's get to the show. Michigan football wins a national championship. 34-13 is the final score. What's your thoughts on the game in general before we get to this? Was this a good football game?
Not really, to be honest with you. I guess you could say it's good for the fact that it actually was closer competitive. Because I guess early on, I thought Michigan was just gonna, I thought Corum and Edwards are each gonna have 500 yards rushing each, and they were gonna score 50 points, and it was gonna be over before halftime. So I think the only thing that I could say was good, in my opinion, was that, well, a couple things. One, that the game was close, and two, even though the game wasn't as exciting as people maybe wanted or stinks, there still was some good defense being played, and I do appreciate good defense and good defense by both sides of the ball. Outside of, I think Washington did a good job of actually bouncing back and adjusting to the fact that they were so run heavy. And then Michigan's defense was just Michigan's defense. They were special that whole game. So I mean, it was okay. It wasn't like an instant classic or anything like that. I would say would you say the semifinals were better than the finals?
From an entertainment value, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, the hard part with this is like, I don't know. I have some broader takeaways that probably get tied in when I try to answer the question of is this a good game or not. But I think like Michigan's very clearly a great football team. Washington's very clearly a great quarterback, great offense. And I think the Washington defense played well, but they're not a great football team. They're a very good football team. They might be the second best football team in the country. Probably not, because Georgia is out there still. And the reality of it is this happens a lot in the college football playoff era, where like you get to the title game and there's one great football team and there's one team that's not a great football team that got there. And you give them credit for getting there. It usually ends up in a not super competitive game. This game was actually competitive, though. Like the score doesn't show it, but the game was competitive. Like Washington had hella chances to win this football game, like tons of chances to win this football game. They had zero answers because Penix, like their one trick did not work in this game.
Yeah,
So,
he was off.
and that was kind of the thing, right? It was like it's the number one offense versus the number one defense. What's going to happen? My takeaway is like the Michigan defense is way better than we even realized. Like, and I know Penix did miss guys for sure. I thought it was more forced than it was unforced, though. Like that man, he's just a genius to the point of avoiding pressure. I think he got sacked in this game once, but like he kept having to get the ball out quicker than he wanted to. I thought Michigan's secondary held up really, really well in coverage. Like, other than probably two, maybe three breakdowns total on the game. One of them called back by the holding that was questionable. One of them, Penix and Adunzi ran the wrong route, or just the miscommunication there. Some people say it's on the receiver, some people say it's on Penix, and then they got one sprung deep. Like I thought that was going to happen 10 times this game. It happened 3 times. So like to me, that's the least I've seen that happen for Washington this year. And look, I don't think there are great defenses in the Pac-12 clearly, but I thought Michigan was the only defense I've seen be effective against them. And I didn't expect that. We talked about how like their secondary is good, but are they ready for this receiver room? To me, like, hell yeah, they were ready for this receiver room.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely ready. So I think, to me, yes, it was good Michigan defense, but at the same time, like Penix was missing throws that he hasn't missed all season. Like that's just the fact of the matter. And look, some of that was because of the pressure they were getting. What's that dude's name? Mason Graham is nice as hell. That defensive line was, I mean, the defense in general is nice. So, but at the same time, like I've watched a lot of Washington football games this year. Obviously Pac-12 after dark, you get to the end of a Saturday or a Saturday game slate. That's something I'm throwing on. And I'm probably texting you saying, are we, how are we feeling about this, or Washington's tied with Arizona State? Do we, do we live bet them? That's a lot of conversation. I just never seen him this season miss throws like that. I seen him maybe be a little bit off, and maybe the defense just not being able to stop anybody. It's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I just haven't seen him like he looked uncomfortable the whole game from the start. He just
Yeah.
was never in a rhythm whatsoever. And it threw a lot of things off. And unfortunately, because his rhythm was off, you just point to like a lot of missed opportunities. And it wasn't just Penix, to be honest with you. Michigan or Washington's defense gave Washington's offense a chance to
Yeah.
make like they were down 7 for it felt like the whole third quarter. And for a good part of the fourth quarter, and they couldn't seize the reins. They had penalties, they had drops, they had missed throws. They just, I don't know, moment too big, defense too good, a little combination of both.
Yeah, I think that's the correct read. The only pushback I would give you in general, I agree with everything you said. The pushback would be, I think we have seen him do this year. Specifically, Oregon State, he had 162 yards, 13 for 28 passing. They win that game by 2. Washington State, he goes
It was
18.
rain. It was a downpour that game though.
Washington State, he goes 18 for 33, 2 touchdowns and an interception. They win that game by 3. Washington State's a bad football team. So he's great. He would have been my vote for the Heisman. He was fantastic most of the season. There were signs of this. We talked about it for Washington played games that came down to the last drive against teams that were objectively bad football teams. And look, I think the way the team is built, their only path to winning this game was Penix's legacy game, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
The way that team is built, it's like if Penix is great, we have a chance against anybody. Penix wasn't great. And whether that was a mix of Michigan's defense and Penix just not showing up, or whether it was one or the other more than the other, I don't know. But I tweeted out, man, he needed to be Kemba Walker in this game, and he was Braden Smith against FDU. That's how I felt. He was erratic. He was doing shit he normally doesn't do. And the moment that was happening early in the game was yeah, this is cooked. They have no other answers.
And the thing is, you point to those games in the regular season, and he did have those, and I give you those, and those are good points. But I will say this, when it was big moment time, Penix was making throws. That last drive against Washington State, he was making the throws. They were the game against Oregon, that the first game against Oregon, he was making plays. The college football title game, I'm sorry, not the college football, the Pac-12 title game, making plays. Texas making every throw, and he just didn't in this game.
Yeah, and that's where I think it becomes more of a credit to Michigan's defense, because they it was kind of like bend but don't break, but they never even really bent. They gave up the field goal on the first drive, 1 touchdown this game. I don't know. Outside of that, I thought it was just a masterpiece performance from a defense that I think we always knew was great. But to me, now that we're through this little 3-year era of Michigan football, potentially through the Jim Harbaugh era, I think we're going to look back and remember this defense is really, really insanely special in a way I didn't anticipate even coming into this game. They have less star power. They have less big names than the previous 2 versions did. There is no Aiden Hutchinson on this team. Even the teams a couple years ago that had Devin Bush, those dudes were dudes. Sainristil is definitely that. I think Will Johnson was stellar in this game, but to me, there's not one dude who you're going to point to and be that was that defense. No, this defense was just 11 dudes who a lot of them are going to end up in the NFL, and just a complete defense. They don't really give you anything. And for them to make the best offense in the country look the way they did, that was impressive. Dylan Johnson being banged up was part of that, I think, too. Want to give credit to him for even playing in this game. That's insane.
They shot him up with some substances I don't even want to know about.
Yeah, it's insane. Michigan offense side, I think everyone knew they were going to be able to run the ball in this game. I said the biggest key coming into this game was Sharon Moore versus himself. Is he going to get too cute? Is he going to go away from what works? I thought in the second quarter he did go away from what works, and then after that, Washington was really loading the box. Michigan, for a team that ran for 303 yards on 38 carries, almost 10 yards a carry cart, they really had a whole stretch of this game where they were ineffective running the football, and it still totaled 300 yards. Blake Corum gets the legacy game in the end, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got the 2 basically game-sealing touchdowns to put it out of reach. Donovan Edwards gave him the first 2 touchdowns. Good to see him for the first time all season. Only 6 carries for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns from Donovan Edwards in this game. I know that hurt you personally, watching Donovan Edwards break through on touch for 50-yard runs twice.
Yeah, I mean, just tackle. Like Donovan Edwards is not that good anymore. Like he doesn't have the burst. He doesn't have the shit that he used to have.
He had a little burst in this game, but yeah, it was untouched.
Yeah, running like a synagogue was chasing him. But yeah, I don't get how. Yeah, I was very surprised, especially that first one. I was just like, you had him. He was right there, and all of a sudden, like a massive hole just opens up, and then the second one, another massive hole, just like could drive a goddamn Brinks truck through it.
The first one, my guy didn't even hit the hole. The first one, my guy ran into his
He made
line
it.
with
He
it.
made it tough. He's like, I'm gonna run into my guard, and my center, and then go through the hole.
Insane. But yeah, I mean, he was crushing. JJ McCarthy, like we said, we have the cookie bet going on. You're eating 140 cookies for this. In the end, it's a very quiet JJ McCarthy line. 10 for 18 in the game, 140 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions is a key number. I don't want to overgive him credit on that. I'm not trying to like paint this like it was a good game, but I think in order for Washington to win this game, highly likely they would have needed to force some JJ mistakes, even in the limited times that they tried to use JJ's arm. He didn't have any mistakes in this game. 31 yards on the ground, too. He had 2 big runs when Michigan's offense couldn't really get anything going that flipped the field in the second half. Your evaluation of your favorite quarterback, JJ McCarthy, what did you see from him in this game?
I mean, he didn't turn the ball over, so that's really what matters, and that's really all that matters. Like he didn't turn the ball over.
Did you say he managed the game?
Yeah, but like that's all they need him to do. That's the I think the discussion gets lost with me with JJ McCarthy is that I'm just on 2 different wavelengths. Like people tell me like this guy's gonna be dynamic and great in the NFL. I think he's gonna get a GM fired in the NFL if you draft him at a certain point. Like he's just like I don't see that a bit. Like I get the elusiveness, the ability to get out of the pocket and throw the ball, but I just don't see it with him. Like, is JJ McCarthy a NFL starting quarterback that like on a good team?
It all depends on where he ends up to me. He's not a guy you like draft and build around. No, he's a guy you need to plug into an organization that's ready to win around him already.
Like, is he better than Brock Purdy?
I think he could be a winning starting quarterback in San Francisco. I don't know that he's better than Brock, but I think he could win there. I think a lot of quarterbacks could win there, though.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Like
but
drop him on like who's gonna have the first pick? The Patriots? I don't even know who it is. Is it the Bears again?
the Bears actually.
Okay, well, drop him in Chicago instead of Justin Fields. He's not winning there.
Yeah, gotcha. But yeah, I mean, the main stat is that he didn't turn the ball over. That's all they needed. Like, don't turn the ball over, hand it off, and let your defense cook.
Okay. Yeah, I was frustrated with JJ just when they were throwing 8 guys in the box and it felt like Michigan's passing game couldn't make them pay. I was pretty frustrated because it's like this is kind of the moment people have been pointing to all season. Like they're gonna make JJ beat him. Like he's supposed to be good enough to beat him. And I felt like Washington's secondary played well in this game, but I was surprised Michigan couldn't get anything going through the air for the most part. Now they didn't really need to because when you run for 10 yards a carry on 38 attempts, like just keep doing that. And I give Sharon credit for sticking to that. But when they did have to go to like, let's keep them honest, like they're loading the box. We got to win one-on-ones. Michigan couldn't really do that. And it comes back. Like, I don't know. I still think this receiver room stinks. I know Colston Loveland's going to be an NFL guy. Roman Wilson had a great year. Give him a bunch of credit. Like Cornelius Johnson dropped the ball and didn't go out of bounds in the 2-minute drill. Like that guy stinks. And he's been their second best receiver all season long. Samaj Morgan is baffling. Maybe he'll be good down the line, but like this receiver room stinks. So I think it's great Michigan won a national title with this receiver room. But I think it's really hard, as equally hard as it is to say like, well, their run game's so good, they don't need JJ. It's also hard for me to envision like what was a passing offense supposed to look like with this receiver room? Like
Yeah, but like it's a mix of both to me. Like
yeah,
Cornelius Johnson has like drops, Roman Wilson is Roman Wilson, but then like there's throws by JJ. It's like where's that going?
for sure. For
So
sure.
Well, Nick,
It's one of those ones. I think it's going to be really hard to make a true evaluation or say anything concrete until we see it. Like I won't be surprised if JJ's an all-time bust. I won't be surprised if he's a winning starting quarterback. I don't know. Depends on the situation. I don't feel like I've seen enough based on how he was used at Michigan to make an evaluation on that.
it's closer to Zach Wilson with the Calm app than he is to the second coming of white Patrick Mahomes that people told me he was too.
See, I don't. I think the largest gripe I have with this is I think it gets made out to be like people are still saying that shit, and I don't think anybody has in a long time.
I mean, the 5-star. This is why we got rid of Cade McNamara.
Well, but like it is like, are we really
Is
doing
Cade
that?
McNamara not doing the same thing JJ McCarthy did last night?
I think they lose somewhere along the way if Cade's the quarterback.
I don't.
Here, I do. I do.
Yeah.
I don't think they beat Alabama if Cade's the quarterback. Down 7 with a minute left. I don't think they beat Alabama. No. And I know you're gonna say like any quarterback could have made that drive. I don't know. I think you're like, look, there's leadership shit and intangible shit that JJ's legitimately really good at. And we can poke fun at like the call map stuff. We can, but like down 7 with Alabama in the Rose Bowl is a big fucking moment. And like he was calm in that moment. I don't know that a lot of guys would be calm in that moment.
I mean,
I don't know that to be point blank, I don't know that Michael Penix would be calm in that moment.
right. I mean, we saw Gardner Minshew not be able to throw a 5-yard out route to a running back, and that was wide open, and JJ McCarthy was able to do that. And then he was able to throw a tip ball to Roman Wilson that was snagged out of the air on an amazing catch, and then handed off to Corum for a legacy drive.
It just sounds really sour to sit here after they won a national title and have that be the stance from you. I'm just
They're a really good team. I said it.
I know, but like just
is it what like you want me to give JJ like what do you
no,
want me
I don't. I just think like it's like now that they've won it, taking the cheap shots of what you just took just seem a little like,
I mean, you said it was
dog.
you
Let
said it
it
was
go.
you said it was a legacy drive, and I'm just like
It was a legacy
you break
drive.
it down.
They won a national championship. They were down 7 against Bama with a minute left. Like, what do you want to do? They won the games.
They did.
I like being sour about it now at the point that they actually won it all. It's like, what are we doing? Like,
I'm stating facts of what happened.
okay. I mean, it's just kind of crazy, man. Like all your stuff has led up to a point. Like at a certain point, he's not going to do it. At a certain point, he's not going to do it. And he just did it.
I will admit I was wrong. I did not think that JJ could go along all year just managing the game and win a national championship. I was wrong about that, and he did that.
Okay, all right. Harbaugh legacy. What is it?
Weirdo, but a winner.
Is this it for him?
I think no.
Did you hear his comment to ESPN
about the spring game thing?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that means much though, but I do think he's going to be there.
So I don't either. Like I also don't think it means much, but at the same time, it was odd because he was asked that question like 7 times by different people after the game. And the other 6 times he got asked about it, he like did the full on ducking of it of like, I just want to get home. I just want to get home. It's my future. I hope to have a future, blah, blah, blah. Like he ducked it as if he's probably gone. So to be so pointed in one of the 7 times he got asked that and say like, yeah, we're moving the spread. Like it was just, it's back to your point. It's weird. Like it's weird that he didn't say that every 7 times he got asked. But yeah. it feels like something that he said that to me. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would, if I'm like putting a percentage chance on it, I would say he's like 70% chance back.
See, that seems coming into this game. I think we both would have said that's super high. I would have said like 90% gone coming into this.
He should leave.
Do you think he's going to have the opportunity to leave, or is that why you're saying 70% back? Like nobody's going to offer him?
No, I think that he's going to get offers. I think he should leave.
Okay.
Like why? Like go out on top. Go out with your natty. You went. You and your prodigal son JJ won it all. Best quarterback ever, Michigan. Like you did it. Like you and Blake Corum did it. You did everything. You went 25-1 over the past 2 years. Won a national championship. Just go out on top. The college football playoff is expanding to 12 teams next year. There's going to be more teams in the Big Ten. Like, just get out now and go get your bag in the NFL.
Yeah, all the reasons are there, like you said. I don't know. I came in saying he's 100% gone. He's gone. I said, like, no matter what, he's gone. It's clear that he's gone. I have a weird conspiracy theory card. I have a weird one. I think Jim is so weird. I think he was gone coming into this game. And I think there's a chance he got a taste of success. And I think he loved the success.
Like,
And
run it back type thing.
I think Jim loves winning. And I think Jim is now that he has won, is evaluating, oh shit, I could probably keep winning here versus go start something new again. And I think he's a competitive MFer that knows the landscape of college football now, knows if it's him and Ryan Day locked in a room, he knows what happens, knows that he's going to make the playoff for the foreseeable future now. You don't need to be flawless to make the playoff every year. And I think he likes his chances. So I still think there's a really good chance he's gone. But I'm telling you, sometimes you see like a twinkle in somebody's eye. I saw that twinkle in the post game from him of like, oh, like he said, like, I get to be at the table with my brother and my dad now. They're both champions. It's like, now I'm at the like, I think dude might come back strictly because he got the taste of it and he can see more of it coming.
Crazy they had a grown ass man at the kids' table.
Yeah, kind of crazy. You're probably going to hate this, but I do want to do this. I think looking back, the whole Harbaugh, like, he was almost fired. Let's not forget that. He was literally almost fired. Michigan fans wanted him fired. It was a very serious conversation. For a while, it seemed like they were not going to bring him back. That was a thing as little as 3 years ago. The year that he did come back, he took a pay cut. Pretty pivotal moment in Michigan football history now that happened. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that, truly. Like, there's a lot of ego in this shit. And obviously the scandal has happened, and that's going to be a story here forever. But I don't think Michigan fans care. Like, the coach that they themselves wanted out took a pay cut to stay, then pushed Ryan Day's face in the dirt, said he was born on third base before they even beat them once, got his quarterback in, ran his other quarterback out. His quarterback literally has a tweet before Michigan ever beat Ohio State that said, Michigan fans, just stay calm, give us time. And then he prattled off a 25-1 record. Like, I feel like Jim and this team in general, like, had the prophecy. And I think Jim would have left had he not taken a pay cut. And I think looking back, that's a pivotal moment in Michigan sports history.
No comment. But I see your point.
Can my Izzo Harbaugh comparisons come full circle now? Can we admit that's a great comparison?
I can you like give me a summary of that? I might have missed that.
I think both are relatively shitty people for relatively equal reasons. Both are elite coaches in every sense. And now they both have a title.
I can see that comparison.
Okay. That's my read. I've been saying for years, just the pushback to me was always, yeah, but Jim doesn't have the win. Like, now he does. So now I think I can do it.
Yeah, and most certainly there will be no Michigan fans that will ever, as long as I live on this earth, as I am 30 right now, I will hear about this title when I'm 80.
I'm sorry. Do you want to vent about it?
Yeah, is what it is.
Okay. Michigan plays Georgia tomorrow. What happens?
Georgia probably wins by 10.
Okay.
I think that's on the safe side.
Okay.
What would you have it at?
I'd have Georgia minus 13.5. With that said, don't do that would be what I encourage. I know you were part of your victory lap, or not your victory lap, your your emotional lashing out on Twitter last night was Georgia didn't play.
I mean, the best team in college football didn't win it this year.
Looks a little cringe. Best team in college basketball never wins it, and has nothing to do with winning a national championship.
It doesn't, but it's still a thing.
It looks really cringe. Like, it's just, I'm telling you as a friend, like, if that's the angle you're trying to play that you think makes you look good, it's tough. It's a tough one.
It's a fact.
It's a tough one. It's a very tough one.
Facts.
I'm just like, again, I'm looking out for you.
I hear
Really
you.
tough one.
I hear you. But
Like,
facts are facts.
you have a lot of good looks when you decide to get in the mud, and then sometimes you have some bad ones. And I think this was a really, really weak one.
I need the NCAA to do their thing.
That's a good angle. You should be playing that angle, not the good team didn't even play. That's tough.
Who do you think is the best team in college football this year?
Georgia. I don't think that matters. That has
And
nothing.
then saying that Georgia didn't win, then saying that
That has nothing to do with the legitimacy of a title. Like, if a team wins a national championship in any sport, and you come in and be like, "Well, that team didn't," it's just.
I mean, I said it last year. I said it last year with college basketball. UConn. I don't think UConn was the best team in college basketball.
Right, and that doesn't take anything away from UConn's title. So why
It
are
doesn't.
you doing that?
It doesn't at all. I can still say it though.
Then it looks lame. It's bad for your brand. It's bad for our brand. Is what I'm trying to tell you, my friend.
I disagree.
Oh, yeah. Okay. College football blue bloods. I wanted to quickly ask you this: who are the blue bloods in college football?
So I think like Bama, Georgia are the ones that come to mind immediately. This is so tough because, like, to me, like, we've been watching college football for a long time. Like, Florida's been bad these past couple seasons, but like, I consider Florida like a blue blood school. Like football wise, Ohio State, Michigan, probably. Like, I put like the USC's in that category as well. Oregon, like those, like the name brand teams.
I mean, you're missing one name now.
Who did I miss?
National champs.
Huh?
The national champions.
I said them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I must have missed them. Sorry.
They've been playing football longer than anybody. They got to be a blue blood.
Yeah. I was gonna come in with a take that it should actually be the red bloods in college football, and it would be Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, USC.
Just red. I like that.
It feels like that's, you got the blue bloods in college, you got the red bloods in football. The problem is that Michigan's not red, Notre Dame's not red, and I think those two got to be there.
Can we make Texas's orange red?
Yeah, I don't think Texas belongs. But I think those four plus Michigan, Notre Dame is where I would be at.
Yeah, I think I would go. I think like the Bama, Georgia, USC are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And Ohio State too is non-negotiable, I think.
Yeah.
Then outside of, I mean, could you make an argument for Clemson?
New blood.
New blood?
Yeah, they're new blood.
They're
blood.
UConn.
Yes, they are UConn.
Okay.
Honestly, not a bad comp. Dabo and Danny. I see some stuff there. That's not bad.
Very similar.
That's not bad. All right. For the sake of time, we're going to move on. I have one more topic. This is college basketball oriented. Yay. But for big win for those that say stick to college basketball at home. They're loving this right now. So Illinois, Ty Rodgers stuff. This was the big deal of the Purdue game. I wanted to have a longer conversation about it at some point. And Purdue just stuck Zach Edey on him. They did it from the game, the moment the game tipped. We thought they would do it at some point. We didn't know if Painter would come out and do it right away. They did it right away. It was obvious it worked. They had no answers. Zach Edey is one of one. He's the best center in the country. He's bigger than any player in college basketball. He can move at that side. Like, there's nobody else who can do that, right? With that said, all Zach Edey did was stand in the paint in this game against Ty. It wasn't even like he did anything to shut Ty down. It was just, hey, our center's going to stand in the paint and Ty's going to be completely ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
I hypothesized that I think other teams could probably do that. I don't think it had much to do with it being Zach Edey that limited Ty Rodgers in this matchup where they put a center on them. We've seen matchups stop players in the past. Like I mentioned it, Nick Stauskas was unstoppable one year, Big Ten Player of the Year. And there was a game against Indiana where Tom Crean put Yogi Ferrell on him, had him pick him up full court, just the smallest, quickest guy getting his shit. Nick was really uncomfortable. The next 2 weeks, it was the whole, like, that's how you beat Stauskas. You just put your quickest guy on him, your little guy. Then Nick figured it out a week later, like, oh, I can just shoot over these dudes. And that shit was dead. So is Ty Rodgers, is Brad Underwood going to have a counter for this? Or is this something that every single team in the Big Ten can replicate by just putting their center on Illinois' point guard?
So simply put, I think it's very replicable. Yeah, good. There we go. Very replicable. And to me, I assume that most coaches definitely look at other teams' success and find out the way they can make their way, like make their team incorporate that same style. And, just to put this in like Michigan State versus Illinois terms on Thursday, my first move would be put Mady Sissoko on Ty Rodgers. I think that should be, if that's who's on the court, I think that's what you should do. And have Mady do the same thing that Zach and just stay in the paint because, we saw what it looks like and we saw that it worked. Now, the one positive or good thing for Illinois is that they have a counter for it. Like they have the personnel to counter teams doing that against them. The unfortunate part about that is it comes at the expense of Ty. So I'm not really sure how they navigate that. Also to be the devil's advocate of this, there's also a way that Ty could beat it as well, I think. Like Zach Edey was sagging extremely far. Like I'm not saying you could make a play around him, but maybe there's like a floater he could add to his game or something like a little free throw line push shot or just even a semi jump shot. I mean, we're looking forward to next season, but I truly believe, given Illinois' player development, given Brad what they do over there at Illinois, that Ty's going to come back next year with a semblance of just an elbow jumper, just something to keep the defense honest. And I think that'll unlock his game a little bit. I'm not saying he's got to be a knockdown, but you got to at least be like, have a guy look at you when you catch the ball. Right now, no one even looks at you because you can't shoot the ball. So it's something I think is replicable. God, that word's beating my ass. And I think that I would be surprised if like teams like Michigan State don't try it or other teams in the Big Ten. But like I said, I think that Underwood can combat that with other personality has.
Okay. Can you say the word personnel?
Personnel?
Personnel.
I don't really emphasize the now. I said personnel.
You say personnel.
Personnel.
You say like person Mal, like my wife is Mal. You say personnel.
No, this different. Like
and then
personnel.
this is personnel.
Don't take this personal.
Yeah.
But now I'm talking about personnel.
But like there's personality and then there's personnel. And you've always leaned into personnel. Well, I think it's personnel. I'm just just trying. We're doing that.
All right, TJ.
We're doing that. Yeah. So, okay, a lot of thoughts. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I disagree with hey, he's gonna get a jumper. He'll work on it, I'm sure. I don't ever like guys that have to add a jumper in their third year of college basketball. I don't like if you haven't added a jumper by now. What do we think? He's just never worked on shooting?
Well, this is the one thing. I think Ty was so focused on the point guard thing and improving those, like maybe those skills that maybe the jumper went by the way. I don't know. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt.
What was he focused on the first 19 years of his life?
I mean, he was. Well, the thing is, like when I saw Ty play in high school, his jumper wasn't that bad. That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would buy like maybe it's gotten worse just because he's unwilling to shoot it, but like I don't know. He's all right from the line occasionally. Like it doesn't look like a completely broken jumper. You're right. He could attempt some shot. I just don't think it's ever going to be like Ty's got a shot now. I don't think that's happening. I think he would have had it by now. The other thing I don't think is happening is I don't think coaches in the Big Ten are going to be as willing to try this as they should be. I do strongly believe pretty much no matter who your center is, this works against Ty because I don't think Ty has the counters you talked about. Like, oh, does he have a little floater? No, he doesn't. If you watch Ty Rodgers, to me, anytime I've seen him have success, playing the quote unquote booty ball style. He needs patience for this to work. Like, and it works against smaller defenders. It absolutely works. But Ty is not like a quick twitch blow by you guy. Like, it's not I'm going to attack a closeout and finish quickly. It's like, give me 10 seconds and I will go through you if you're smaller than me. That hasn't been happening. And it can't happen. Like, he can't spend 10 seconds backing down a 6'10" guy. He just can't do it. So I think teams should be doing this every game. I think it will work every game. I don't think any of the effectiveness really much at all had to do with Zach Edey. Zach Edey was great, and he's tougher than other guys. But like I don't think it would happen. I think it would work with lesser centers. With that said, I don't think Tom Izzo's going to do this for a second. Like, we think Tom's creative enough to do that.
I mean, the thing is, it's not even creative though. It's just a small wrinkle.
I don't think Tom has that in his bag these days. No offense. I think he's a great coach, but I think Tom's like, oh, yeah, that's their point guard. We're going to guard him with my point guard.
I could definitely see that.
Roll your sleeves up. Screw metrics. Like, but I don't know, man. Like, and I don't, honestly, it's not just Tom. I don't think there's a lot of coaches in this league who are willing to do what Matt Painter did. So
pride is an MFer.
It is an MFer. But if teams do set it aside, I think it's going to work. That's my thoughts. Let's go to one big thing presented by Big B. What do you got today?
My one big thing is that you shouldn't be icing your sidewalks or your driveway. You need to put salt on your driveway and your walkways and pet safe salt to combat the ice. So I'm sorry that anyone who really, really took my statement yesterday to heart. Do not ice your driveways and walkways. Use pet safe salt to combat the ice and make it go away.
That's a good one. It's a very good one. Okay, here's mine. This feels dangerous to even say out loud, and I'm a little scared. But I want to speak to my own personal thoughts and feelings as Michigan won the national title last night. I don't claim Michigan football as a team. I was rooting for them to see Pops happy. I don't claim them as a team. Didn't know how I would feel if they won the title. They won the title. I am happy for Pops. I was happy in the moment. I feel very unsatisfied now like 12 hours later, and it's unsettling to me how unsatisfied I am. And I don't know, I think it's because I don't view that as my team. And now I'm like, well, kind of my team won a title, but they're not my team. And now I'm sitting here like, damn. I thought, like, I literally have kept a notepad my whole life, Cart, of like teams that I would like to see win a title and their failures in the big moments. There's been countless of them. Countless. Like Michigan State football in the playoff, Michigan basketball every time they get to the title, Michigan State in the Final Fours, Michigan football in the Final Fours, the Lions in the playoffs, the Tigers in the playoffs. Everything in my life has gone south. And now a team that, like, on the peripheral is a team I was rooting for did get it done. And I'm not, like, ready to run through a wall. And it feels weird. And now I'm starting to think, like, do I even like sports like that? Like, I thought this would be an immeasurable success, and it's not in my heart.
Well, that's because you're not a Michigan football fan.
Yeah, but, like, am I a fan of anything anymore?
I think when we get one of your teams to actually win a title, we got to revisit this. If you get this same feeling when the Lions win or Michigan basketball wins or, a Michigan State football wins, then maybe we address it. But I don't think you should feel anything really or any level of satisfaction outside of Pops being happy. By the way, was Dave like ecstatic?
He was real happy. Him and Connie were real happy. Yeah,
they were real happy. Were there tears?
No tears. No tears. No, I think they. I don't know. For lack of, I think they thought they should win this game. If this had been Alabama in the title, maybe tears. But in this one, no tears. A lot of excitement though. Some yells, some claps. Yeah, I was happy to be them with them in the moment. I was happy for them. Like I said, I was rooting for them. I woke up being like, damn, I am the problem here. Like I should be happy right now, and I'm not.
I will say this, not to put you in a deeper mental pretzel, But if you were a Michigan football fan, last night would have been an all-time moment for you, like you and Pops winning a title.
Right. Right. And I
Maybe that's where the unsatisfied is. Shit, who needs the Calm app? I'm JJ McCarthy.
right. Like sickeningly, I feel like I lost. Like I missed out on that moment because I am an idiot. Like why am I wired the way that I am? Why am I not happy in this moment, you know? And will I ever be happy anyway? Like you're telling me if Mel Tucker did win a title, I'm happy? I
I
hated
think,
Mel Tucker.
well, but I think if Michigan State football won a title, you'd be happy.
I think so too, but like I don't know. I'm in a weird spot right now, man. I'm in a weird spot.
At least you don't hate our coach anymore. That's a huge step.
It's a big win. The flip side of this is while I was having these existential thoughts, I also had this thought. If Michigan football can do it, couldn't any of our teams do it? What if this was the turning point? What if this is a sign of things to come? Like the Detroit Lions host a playoff game this week that they should win, that they're favored in. And like my whole life has been my teams will never actually do it. And then one just kind of did it. And like now I'm starting to think like others could do it.
If the Lions can do it, then we're gonna have a moment.
I just have a lot of thoughts. All right, that's one big thing. That's the Sleepers podcast. Carter's going to eat 140 cookies tomorrow. Follow at. Are you going to do it from the Sleepers account or Carter's account, or what are you going to do?
I'll do it from Sleeper's account.
Okay, follow at Sleepers Media to come along on Carter's 140 cookie journey tomorrow. We'll see you then.